Most people dread the idea of installing a pool heater because it usually means clearing out half the garage for a massive, clunky piece of machinery. That is where this little unit changes the conversation. It is surprisingly compact, which is a huge win if you are working with limited space or just don't want a giant eyesore sitting next to your pump. The design is clean and straightforward, and honestly, it feels like it was built to just sit there and do its job without needing constant attention. What makes this thing interesting is how it handles the actual heating process. Instead of relying on those old-school pressure switches that seem to fail at the worst possible times, it uses flow sensor technology. That is a big deal because it keeps the elements from burning out prematurely. It is one of those subtle engineering choices that you don't really notice until you realize you haven't had to call a repair person in years. The self-modulating tech is another smart touch. It doesn't just blast full power all the time. It adjusts based on what is actually needed, which is a much more sensible way to manage energy. Setting the temperature is as simple as it gets. You have a digital display where you can dial in the heat to the exact degree. It is a set-it-and-forget-it kind of setup, which is exactly what you want when you just want to jump in the water without shivering. If you are the type who likes to tinker, it is also compatible with a remote control, so you don't even have to walk over to the unit to make adjustments. Now look, there is a reality check here. This is an 18 kW unit, and it pulls 75 amps. You are going to need a serious electrical setup to run this thing properly. It requires 8 AWG wire, so if your current electrical panel is already maxed out, you are looking at some extra work before you can even plug it in. It is not a simple DIY project for someone who isn't comfortable around high-voltage wiring. Also, while it is great as a standalone for smaller setups or as a booster for a heat pump, don't expect it to turn a massive, uninsulated pool into a hot tub overnight. It is efficient, but it has its limits. The build quality feels solid, and the white finish is pretty unobtrusive, blending in well with most pool equipment setups. It is refreshing to see a piece of hardware that prioritizes reliability over flashy features. If you have the electrical capacity to support it, this is a really clean, effective way to extend your swimming season without turning your backyard into a mechanical plant. It is not perfect, and the power requirements are definitely something to take seriously, but for the right setup, it is a reliable workhorse that does exactly what it promises.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.